Hey everyone, welcome back to the Jay's Fit Down podcast. I'm your host Jaden, and today I'm here with Jonathan Hooker, um, fellow sports podcaster. Jonathan, thank you for joining us on the show today. Talk some ball.
Of course, appreciate it for you inviting me here. I really excited for this opportunity.
Yeah, man, of course. So you guys make sure you check us out here on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Where we are. But John, yeah, man, it's been a crazy NFL free agency so far. I'm sure you've seen all these crazy moves that have happened. Who would you say, man, like to you, are your winners and losers so far of free agency?
Um, my winners, I'll go with one, the Bears.
Yeah.
Okay, because the Bears just fleeced the Panthers for a wide receiver one, a potential top 10 draft pick for next year. Then getting those extra draft picks where they can use in trades to help bolster their offensive line. And then also, I would say getting the right pieces around Justin Fields. They've done a great job of doing that. And then also going on defense and getting Tremaine Edmonds. That could be your leader on the defensive side. And then another team I have is the home team Falcons. They have done a great job of bolstering their defense, even though the Falcons still have some questions on the offensive side.
Yeah.
They still have to get things going with Desmond Ridder. Even though they signed Taylor Heineke, I think that's a good signing of him mentoring him, pushing him to his limit, pushing him to his potential. So I think those teams are a great one. And then for my last one, I'll say it's the Lions. The Lions getting David Montgomery, I think is an upgrade over Jamal Williams, but the culture, we all know Jamal Williams is a culture guy, but getting David Montgomery and also signing Cam Sutton to go alongside with Jeff Okudah on defensive end will help pay dividends in the long run and hopefully get the Lions back into the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people have the Bears winning free agency just because, like you said, they had the most cap space and they went out and got core pieces. Like Tremaine Edmonds, of course, on defense, 4 year, $72 million contract. He's a guy that's 6'5". I mean, he can fly, he can move from sideline to sideline, very physical, good in coverage, good linebacker, great move for them. Trading for DJ Moore. Now Justin Fields has that number one receiver. A lot of people are making the joke that he won't even get the ball because Justin Fields going to be running the whole time. Hopefully he won't have to do that as much. But, and yeah, the offensive line too, they signed Nate Davis, offensive guard from the Titans. They signed him, and I expect him to go after that more in the draft too. So yeah, the Bears have made a lot of good moves. They signed Robert Tunyon, among others.
Oh, yeah.
They have made some really solid moves. I like what Ryan Poles is doing as GM there. I mean, to be fairly new somewhat to that position, and be making these type of moves, I mean, that's good for a GM, So
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
He's working.
yeah, he is moving because remember he played not too long ago. He was playing in the league.
Oh, yeah.
He played. I think he played online for the Bears. So now
Yeah.
the general manager of the team he plays for.
Hey, he's probably making more money now.
Oh,
So-
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. That's a full circle moment right there. I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's absolutely crazy, man. But I'm happy for Ryan Poles and the Bears, man. I expect them to. I mean, I won't say like I'm not saying they're going to go like 11-6 next year, but I expect an improvement.
Yeah, I expect them to do what the Lions did this year, is to compete very, very heavily. And, the Bears were in a lot of games, close games, so I expect them to get over that hump and sometimes close out a couple of those close games to increase their win total into next year.
Right. I mean, yeah, like you said, they were in a lot of close games. I mean, if a play went, here or there, we might be having a different conversation right now. But,
Yeah.
so that's just how the ball rolls sometimes. But I just want to see them, really help out. Just so let me ask you this: what do you think they prioritize, with all this draft capital they have primarily?
I think for their first round draft pick, I think they go after offensive lineman preferably a tackle. The guy from Northwestern, I think they go after him. I think they should go after him, and then for the next couple of draft picks, they should go after some cornerbacks. Even though the cornerback room is pretty solid on the back end with their safeties, I think and getting another corner in the draft because the corner class is so deep this year.
Yes, it is.
So I think nabbing one of those guys in the later parts, or maybe even trading up in the later part of the first round, and maybe getting a guy like Emmanuel Forbes from Mississippi State, who was a ball hawk, who led the SEC in interception. So I think doing that will pay dividends for the Bears.
Yeah. You mentioned the offensive line. That's a huge position of need. I mean, if you go back and watch the tape, man, Fields was under duress a lot of the time last year, and his rookie season and this past season. And so you want to see your young quarterback continue to progress and improve, and he has. I mean, I can tell you from his first year to his second year, I saw improvements within Justin Fields. So now it's a matter of can we just get that offensive line around him and allow him to continue to progress and have time to actually make his reads. Automatically because he has to. And I like Christian Gonzalez too out of Oregon. I think he's a really hot prospect this year, and I expect a lot of teams to be interested in him. So I'm interested to see where he'll go. But other than that, man, yeah. So you mentioned the Lions, great moves. Do you think they possibly go after a quarterback in later rounds this year?
That's a really tough question because when I thought about Lions, I thought the Lions would honestly trade for Lamar. That was one of my underrated teams to get Lamar, where they used Jared Goff's contract, probably added a couple draft picks, and they traded for Lamar. But honestly, I'll say yes. I'll say a guy like Hendon Hooker, him going there because he's a plug and play guy. He knows what he does well. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's a NFL caliber quarterback, and he just needs time to rehab and understand. Even though he's already 25, he just needs like probably 2-3 more years to understand what goes on in the league. And then I think he can make something go in Detroit.
Yeah, definitely. In the Lions last year, offensively they were great. They scored a lot of points every game. Just unfortunately, the defense gave about the same amount of points every game. You can't win football games like that. When you're scoring 30 points a game and your defense is allowing 32, you can't win football games like that. So defense has got to be a priority. It has continued to be. And it seems like they're continuing to improve. Those guys believe in what Dan Campbell is preaching, which is important. He's got that culture seeming like on the right track. So I like what he's building there because Detroit has really lacked a culture for quite some time now.
Yeah.
You know that. And so this is huge. And I think these next couple of drafts and offseason will be huge for the Lions to continue to improve. And Jared Goff he's on his way out. He should be at least. So I think you do like the Lions really should get a quarterback this year. I think that should be a priority for them. I mean, even if you don't throw them out there, you want them.
Yeah.
So now we talk about our winners, man. Were there any other teams that you think maybe they didn't completely just bust open for agency with good moves? Like they made a few good signings here or there. Anybody you want an honorable mention to?
I say the Vikings signing Byron Murphy Jr. for 2 years for $22 million, getting a young corner who has shown flashes of potential in Arizona, but comes over to the Vikings and coming to a winning team with the winning culture. I think him going there will pay the Vikings dividends of playing in the NFC North because Byron Murphy isn't afraid to tackle. Like he loves to be physical in the run game. I think he will work well with the Vikings.
Yeah, I think so too. Because the secondary has been a very dire need. Especially as they lose Patrick Peterson. You got guys like Andrew Booth, and Cam Dantzler, still young guys in this league, and they need a solid, cornerback there with them, and I say they also attack that in the draft too. Like we mentioned, it's a
Oh yeah.
cornerback heavy class, so I think that should be a priority for them. They cut Eric Kendricks, so they're trying to turn that defense around. You got Brian Flores to be your DC, which is a huge move. So um, I'm interested to see where the Vikings head in these next couple years.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, man. So now when we talk about our winners, who are your losers this year for agency?
Number one, the Baltimore Ravens. Pay Lamar Jackson. If you, literally, you saw a difference when Lamar was playing and when Lamar was not playing. The offense was just not there. I feel like the team was just deflated. There was no pick me up energy. Guys jumping around. It was just like lax. And I feel as though if Lamar is there, he's going to bring that culture. He's your team leader, and guys are already spoken out so many times of pay that man. We're talking about a former unanimous MVP not getting extended, but Daniel Jones gets extended. So it's just a lot of things that goes on in the league. I just question like why haven't we paid Lamar? And that's number one. That's number one for me. That's just I don't know. It's crazy how the Ravens are trying to lowball a former MVP who's still on the right side of 30, who's under 30. So I think if they pay Lamar and go get the weapons that he actually deserves, just like the Bears are doing for Justin Fields, I think the Ravens do that. The Ravens have a shot at winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. You're talking about an MVP, right? Like we say, he's an MVP. The dude won the MVP award, and what he does with the ball in his hands is just crazy. He's electric, and especially when he is fully healthy, Lamar is a pain to try to stop. And man, he hasn't had a receiver to throw to, and I think really in his whole few years there, I mean, other than Marquise Brown, but that's not even much there if we're being honest. So
Yeah.
because he never really panned out, but yeah. So we'll see what happens with Lamar, man. I mean, I don't know, like it doesn't seem like it seems like he's going to be moved. I feel like it's going to happen. I don't think you think he comes back to Baltimore.
I don't know. It's just the Ravens gave him a non-exclusive tag, so he can go out and talk to other teams and see what deals they'll try to give him. But at the end of the day, I think whether he agrees to a deal, I think Baltimore will match it and take him back. But I think Lamar, after that contract's over, I think Lamar leaves Baltimore.
Yeah, most definitely. Now I know a lot of people here in the ATL.
Yeah.
See, they always do it, man. They always do this every time a big name pops up. They did it with Deshaun Watson last year, even though apparently the Falcons were really close on that, but he just wanted too much at the end of the day. That nobody was willing to give him except the Browns. So but every time a big name, they even did it this year with Darius Slay for a little bit. He ended up going back to the Eagles. So a lot of sad Falcons fans right now. But it shouldn't be because the Falcons made a lot of good moves. Signing Jesse Bates and David Onyemata, get him from the Saints. So a lot of good moves they made. How would you describe the Falcons moves they made this year?
First things first, I'm not a Falcons fan. Whenever I pray on the Falcons' downfall because I'm in the group chat of so many Falcons fans. They hype up the Falcons. I'm not gonna lie. I'm from Georgia. My mom's a Falcons fan. She was born in Decatur. Her father was a Falcons fan. He was probably one of the biggest Mike Vick fans ever. But I'll say this: the Falcons are showing that they are trying to win, and they're doing a great job. They know they have to get it done on the defensive end. They hired a new defensive coordinator, and he's bringing in guys who has the stats and who has shown they can get after the quarterback. And they signed a top 5, top 3 safety in the league with Jesse Bates, and I think the Falcons are doing what's right for them. The only thing that's left is getting another weapon and utilizing that weapon.
Yeah, you draft a tight end at number 4. You would think they get the ball to him a little bit more. But at the same time, when you're the quarterback that you currently have, you can't really throw more than 15, 20 yards downfield. that's understandable. So, you know, yeah, you got to be able to pass the ball in this league. And the Falcons didn't have a quarterback who could do that for most of the year last year until they brought Desmond Ritter in. So now you just get him another weapon, like Drake London, like what he's doing. Kyle Pitts, of course, is good. They traded for Jonnu Smith, so hopefully they'll use these assets they have. Maybe draft another receiver. Pretty good receiver class this year. So we'll see what happens with that, man. But yeah, this offseason has been pretty crazy so far. I like what I'm seeing from these teams. It's going to be really interesting. So who would you say, man, has got to be that player for the 2023 season that you think needs to just step up and just they need to have a year, like they're on that thin ice? Who would you say is that guy?
Josh Allen. Simple as that. Josh Allen came into the league. Josh Allen came into the last season. We said he was the second best quarterback. Now we're thinking of him as a fringe top 5 quarterback. After what he did this playoffs and at the end of last season, he was going on a down spiral. And Stephon Diggs has talked about it. He said, "I don't know what's wrong. We got the guys. We done everything right. It's just that when we get to playoffs, we just go away from what's got us winning." And so I think Josh Allen had to reinvent himself, find himself again, be that guy, and be that guy of showing why we said you and Patrick Mahomes hand for hand were the top 2 quarterbacks, and there were no question. Now you got guys coming in who have improved a lot, like Jalen Hurts. You got guys like Joe Burrow coming to Buffalo and winning a playoff game and send you home, where the league changed the overtime rules for that game you played last year, for two years ago. So it's just a lot of things that goes on into it. I think Josh Allen has to come in and play like an MVP and sustain that MVP level throughout the whole next season.
Yeah, that's a solid pick right there. Josh Allen, supposedly, like you said, it's supposed to be like the second best quarterback in the league apparently at one point, and then he just dipped production-wise. When they needed him in the playoffs, he needed to turn the football over and wasn't making the best decisions, So a guy like that is supposed to be a franchise guy, shouldn't be making those problems. Like you said, the Bengals, man, they came in there, they pretty much just cakewalked Buffalo in the playoffs, man. They came in there like it was their stadium. They were just going up and down the field with ease and, playing hard physical defense and just getting after them, and the Bills couldn't really do anything, So, when I look at that, I look at the Bills and Josh, I'm like, hey, Josh Allen, you got to – this is it, buddy. You got to, get it together. So, I think that's a solid pick, man. For me, I would have to say because you can name a lot of players. You can name a lot of players like that. Oh, man, I mean, I think I'll have to go with Josh Allen too. I think I'll go with him. Okay, you know what? I say Derek Carr. I say Derek Carr.
I think another one would be Kirk Cousins.
You could name him too.
Yeah, I feel like those two were my honorable mentions, because Derek Carr, he's going to a new system and he has weapons with Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, and I know they'll probably draft another wide receiver in this year's draft. So I think Derek Carr is coming to a system where he picked, and he has the keys. He has the keys to the offense. And Kirk Cousins has to find a way to be consistent and sustain that consistency all throughout next season and have a posting, because you can't have a dominant weapon like Justin Jefferson and even have a great 1-2 punch with Dalvin Cook and Alexander Mattison and not try to win a couple of playoff games. So I think that right there, they need to do a better job of that. And adding TJ Hawkinson, you saw Kurt and TJ have a good connection, so hopefully that builds and they add in just another wide receiver to go into the mix.
Yeah. I think the big thing with Kirk Cousins was his consistency. They say he's like he he's like the afternoon. He's an afternoon guy, but when it's prime
time,
time,
it's terrible.
He's a trash can. But like. But Kirk, yeah, he's got to be consistent, man. He's been a guy in the NFL. He'll put up decent numbers, but he just isn't. He just can't give you a week to week output of good football on a consistent basis, and you need that in today's NFL. How high potent these offenses are, and how good these teams are continuing to get. The more star players they continue to bring in, because we're just in a league now like where everybody's just going where they gotta go where they want to go, where they feel like they have the best chance to win. So great picks right there, man. Derek Carr especially. So we'll see how that works in New Orleans. I'm interested to see how that works. But yeah, man. Other than that, it's gonna be crazy. I don't know, man. The NFL. Every year is something, man. It's something every year. And you have these teams that come out. And some of them play the expectations, and some of them don't. So we'll see how that 2023 unfolds for everybody. But last little thing here, the wild card question today, man. If you, Jonathan, if you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be, man? What would it be? You have any superpower you ever wanted? Like, what would that power be?
Oh, it's not okay. Let me go through this. I don't want to read minds. That's too obvious. Reading minds too obvious. Super speed's cool. I got it because of Dash from The Incredibles. I'll take flying because if I fly, I can go travel the world at any given moment I want to, and so I'll say flying because I don't have to deal with traffic trying to go from to school or even go to work, come from work. I can travel whenever I want to and come back within seconds. So yeah, I'll say flying. Flying.
Okay. All right. Flying. Okay. That's a good pick. That's a great one. You got and the reading minds thing is like it's like who would really want to do that? Like you don't want to know what people are thinking.
Yeah, reading minds.
No,
I can't do that.
I know nobody will want to know what I'm thinking, right? So you won't want to do that. But I like that one, man. That really about wraps us up for today's podcast, man. We'll show about free agency. As we're continuing to move on throughout the offseason process, we'll have you covered here on the podcast. Definitely going to be speaking with Jonathan again soon, and glad to have him on. And John, tell us where we can find your show at, man.
The Sports Den podcast, you can find it on YouTube, Spotify, and then you can follow the Instagram at the Sports Den podcast, and I have an Instagram at inhisbag_J, where I just post about my life and doing things fun. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys make sure to do that. Check him out. Check his podcast out, and you can always find us here. Same thing, YouTube, Spotify, every podcast platform. That's where we are. Also on the socials, IG, TikTok, Twitter, wherever. You can find us there. And John, thank you for coming on, man, talking some football with us today.
Appreciate you for having me.
Of course, man. Yeah, and we'll catch you guys later on Jay's Fifth Down. Thank you.